to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Did you already do a test of the emergency broadcast system?
Yeah, that was earlier.
Damn.
Went, balls on you! Or something. But yeah, I don't recall.
A big plate of saucy lasagna.
Chipotle guajillo.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's a Sad Dads Club podcast. I'm not doing the number because I blew it in the last one.
I didn't want to throw you under the bus.
I went, why did I'm renaming the show names? And I went to yeah, but it was, oh, God damn it.
I said the wrong number.
I said, we're in the 200s.
Yeah, we're up there. Does it even matter at this point?
Season 5. I feel like
Season 5, show 3 or something.
We're overdue to consume or inebriate ourselves in some form or fashion. I feel like we haven't done something stupid.
Oh.
Like eating a really hot chip or being completely shit-faced or something. Lines of Coke. I don't know.
Is that legal now?
I don't know. Maybe. Shit.
I have a question.
Go.
If you know, one of the big things nowadays is an app for everything. Everything has an app.
Yeah.
You want to order some food, get an app.
Right.
Everyone's got a fucking app, right?
Yes.
And it is convenient to a certain extent. Tonight, we ordered Subway. Okay.
Through an app?
Through the Subway app.
Okay.
And we have done this countless times.
Okay.
Right? It's quick. It's easy. I get off work, do some stuff usually around the house. Then we order food. We go pick it up.
Right.
And then we eat, and I come over here.
Okay.
Tonight was interesting.
Okay.
So Shan was gone, and she was on her way home. I'm like, hey, you want to pick up Subway on the way home? So yeah, sure. So we work it out. I order. Apple Pay, right? Shows up. I get charged.
Okay.
Shan goes into the restaurant to pick it up.
Uh-huh.
They don't have my order. I ordered at that store.
Oh, I was going to say, is someone in Idaho looking for your...
No, I mean, I ordered at that store. I have an order number. I have, like, the app is, like, sent, you know, preparing. And it's like, we got a little animation. And she's calling me. They don't have our order. And I'm like, well, I paid for an order. And the chick was just not going to make our order. Just not going to make it. And I'm like, and she's like, well, you can just cancel it. I'm like, first of all, there's no cancel button anywhere. You can't cancel it through the Subway app. And I'm like, I am not paying double
whammy. Yeah.
For the same fucking order. That's not going to happen. And I'm just pissed, and I'm on the phone screenshotting shit and sending a ton of shit to Shanna. Here's the order number. And she's like, the lady there's like, first of all, I order there almost every week, every Wednesday. She knows me. I walk in. Oh, hey, Jim, here's your sandwiches.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a interesting twist.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she wasn't going to make it. And I told Shanna, just fucking leave, and I'm going to fucking flame Subway hard. The app doesn't have any way to complain.
Okay.
So you have to like go to their website, which is weird because if you just go to subway.com, that doesn't work. It has a bad gateway or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go to order.subway.com. That works. And then there's like I found this contact us, and I just fucking lit them up. Dude, I was pissed. I was so mad. And the lady was just like, just have them order again. I'm like, no, I already fucking paid. I can't help it if your computer doesn't have my fucking order. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here, I sent you an order number.
This is a screenshot of me paying.
Yeah. And I don't know what to do in that situation. Like, first of all, I have limited time on a Wednesday already.
Right.
So when something like that happens, like now my time for dinner is just shrinking.
Right.
And I'm hungry. So I'm fucking getting hangry and pissed.
Right.
That all of a sudden I might not get dinner before I leave for the show, and that's not cool.
You're right.
And I told Shannon, just fucking leave. I don't know what else to do. Like, she's not going to make it. And so she told Shannon told her, my husband just told me I need to leave because you're not going to make our order. And she's like, oh, I make it for free. And I'm like, it's not for free. I fucking paid for it. Like, here's screenshots of my Apple Pay history.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's only $14. But at the same time, like, it's not even the point. Like, I can afford $30 for dinner.
I don't need a freebie from you.
Yeah.
I need you to recognize that this has been paid for. There's no shenanigans here.
Yeah. And
I don't care how you deal with this at corporate, but here's the receipt.
Yeah.
You know,
I was joking with Shan before I left the house. I'm like, I'm playing the long game. Like, I just order every week. And then one week I just be like, oh no, I ordered. Where's my order?
Right.
To get 2 free fucking sandwiches?
Right.
When she's actually expecting 3 or 4.
Like spending 40 hours a week deep diving Photoshop so that way you can alter a previous receipt.
Right.
Like,
I got the font just right.
Yeah. Font, delving, pixel editing. No, look it. I've not only forged my Apple Wallet transaction complete UI,
but also an order number.
But an order number that I assure you, I have reverse engineered your Subway order generator algorithm
to get $14 worth of free sandwiches.
Fucking a foot long and a half.
Not even a foot long. I get 2 6-inch sandwiches.
God damn. You got really.
And half the time I go in, like when the kids were home, they would be around. So it'd be like, oh, okay, let's go. Well, I'll get sandwiches. So we would have 4, sometimes 5 if Nicole was around.
Right.
Sandwiches at Subway. So then when I go in and I only have 2, she's like, well, only 2 sandwiches? And I'm like, so this is how well she knows. And I'm like, do you think I'm going to like do the long game for 2 fucking free 6-inch sandwiches?
Yeah. You guys know me. Come on now.
I mean, and you know, I was at home, so it's not like I could just be like, here's the app. You know, I'm like sending screenshots to my wife. So those could be manufactured.
Yeah.
I had them done on Fiverr.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I spent money on Fiverr to get my free
I
Subway.
hired some college student to...
I spent $35 on Fiverr to get my $14 in free sandwiches. So I just, you know.
If you want 2 6 inches, then it's $35. But I do one for $5.
Right.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
It's, you know.
It's worth it. So anyway, what do you do in that situation? Because there's no feedback that you can provide in the app. I had to go digging on the website. Like, I'm furious on the website.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that you tried to go to their main site and you got a bad gateway.
Yeah.
So something tells me it's entirely possible that they've got network problems.
Oh, that's probably true.
That the franchises aren't aware of.
Yeah.
So it's not... It doesn't absolve the actual lady from not knowing.
And she's worried she's not going to get her $14.
Right. And I'm sure, right.
She's,
you know, I understand her plight, but yet at the same time,
I have provided everything I can.
Right. You're not a net new customer on this instance.
Yeah.
You're a repeat customer. Like, hey,
yeah,
I don't need your platitude of a free fucking sandwich because you think I'm upset and trying to scam you, and I'm looking for a freebie.
Yeah.
Listen, recognize that you guys probably have a digital infrastructure problem right now. I don't give a fuck.
You know what's going to happen.
But I need my 2 6-inch sandwiches.
Yeah. At some point here in the future, maybe even right now, that order is going to roll in, and they're probably going to make it again.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jim Schroeder, 2 6-inch sandwiches. Oh. Oh. And your complaint's going to get read by corporate, and they're probably going to send you a gift certificate or 2 gift cards for free. So they're going to get a total of what? 6 sandwiches.
Right.
For, you know.
Yeah.
Hey.
And do you think I would have complained to corporate if she would have just made the sandwiches? No, I would have been like, hey, you did a fucking awesome job. Something happened with the system. You still made my shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I paid for it. You know.
Yeah, it's like when we go to Planet Fitness and the scanners are down.
And you have to use a pen.
Yeah. It's like,
what is this?
Yeah, I'm a black card person, and you've seen me a number of times.
Yeah.
I'm going to go use the massage. Turn the massage fucking loungers on.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. I can't do that.
You need to put your
Listen,
phone number in here.
I've been here for 2 months, dipshit. And every time I look at you and say, I need the hot lounger, my eyes get wide because I'm like, yeah, daddy's going to get the wet massage. And you look at me weird and raise an eyebrow because you think it's awkward that I lay dick side down when you came in that one time. You know me. And your machine's down. Turn on the goddamn massager.
Yeah. I need a hot dog roll.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Come on, man. I only punched a hole in that thing one time. That's not my fault.
No.
Hey. Hey.
So anyway, I just, it's just a weird, I don't know what I was supposed to do. Yeah, if she wasn't going to make it.
So what happened?
She ended up making the sandwiches and Shanna came home with them.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. But she wasn't going to until my wife told him, my husband just told me I should leave and we're probably not going to be back. If we can't get a reliable order through.
Right.
We probably won't be coming back. And so this is a weekly order for them. It's not like it's huge money or anything like that.
Did Shan mention if they were slammed or something?
No, there was nobody in there.
I mean, come on, make the fucking sandwiches.
And then the lady was like, I don't have any orders. And I'm like, fuck, something's fucking broken. I
assure you.
Something's fucking broken. That's, So, I don't know. Maybe she won't get her money. Maybe corporate will just keep it all. Because that's how that app works, right? You pay corporate and then I
have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah. We got I think it was last week. Venus got an email from Xfinity oh, we're updating, increasing your bandwidth, somethings.
Ooh.
It doesn't specify
what you're getting.
what new limits we're getting as far as speed, but it was you're getting a new
5 megabit.
Yeah, new updating. We're increasing your speed bandwidth. And I went, well, that would have been nice to know because all fucking last week the router was tanked.
Oh.
They were pushing updates to something it was that's nice. I appreciate it. But if you'd have told, clearly you guys were working on shit because all last week, multiple times throughout the day,
connectivity
would take a shit.
Yeah.
Listen, it's residential. I work from home. I telecommute. If I needed 100% reliability, I would pay for some sort of business thing or I would have redundancy, high speed redundancy. I don't. This is the thing. But as a courtesy, shoot me a thing saying, hey, we're going to start pushing some new updates as a bunch of the routers. There's going to be some outages, blah, 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 blah. I'd have been like, okay.
I'll expect it.
But instead, multiple times last week, I'm mid fucking command line session, oh, yeah. And then the VPN's like, hi, bitch. Would you like to reconnect? What?
Sorry, Linux box. I was in the middle of an update.
Yeah, what the fuck are you? Oh, God, is this? Oh, great enterprise bullshit. And then the Mac goes, poof, and the fucking my main rig is Twitter's unresponsive. All this
cannot connect to the internet.
Yeah. Oh, what? Look at my phone. My phone's
can't even open my garage door. Damn it.
Cellular service. Oh, fuck. I look over the router. Router's powered on. Pull up the Xfinity app. Your router is offline. Well, fucking duh. I can see the light. It's not offline. It's offline for you, dickhead.
Yeah, because you can't contact it.
Great. Powered on.
Wait around. Now, do you have your own wireless router?
Yes.
You don't use theirs?
I have my own jacked into. I own both. It's not like a rental or a lease thing. I bought my main one off of Amazon.
I gotcha.
And then register. You have to register with them.
Right.
But oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze.
Don't do it. Look at the sun. That usually makes you sneeze.
All gone.
That was the moon.
Yeah.
That's why it went away. Yeah.
It was like the whole experience would be better if you'd have just been up front. Yeah. But like we're just gonna.
Your router's probably gonna reboot several times this week.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, I'll try and punch some shit through, or make sure it's in a remote.
Well, that's the thing.
VDI.
They're not telling you at 1 p.m. Right.
Right. By the way,
or 8:56. Expect an outage. They're just like, we might be working on some crap. So then when it does go down, you're like,
yeah,
you still might be in the middle of something.
Yeah, and it's not fiber, so whatever they increased me to.
Well, yeah,
is it really doing anything for me?
Because like Xfinity, right, being cable, you're sharing. If your load in your neighborhood is high, then that means your rates are lower. Your data rates. If there's a lot of traffic in your subnet area, whatever that is,
yeah,
then your data rates will suffer as everybody else gets on, and
I've never.
That's my understanding.
I've never processed enough stuff to honestly see a latency problem. Now, if I was streaming, I might see something like that.
Yeah,
like Twitch or YouTube, something. But and no one ever. Xander and Piper tend to be watching YouTube or Twitch or Netflix or Amazon something, and Venus does too. And I have many things all actively, and it's fine. Would it be nice?
Command line doesn't need a lot of.
Yeah, would it be nice to have it? But yeah. I have music actively streaming.
Yeah,
the Xbox is doing something probably all the time without me knowing. So whatever.
It's a bot.
Yeah,
it's a bot for hacking.
I'm updating your games. Okay. Gigabytes later.
It's funny because anytime there's like big software update for something, like I think Creative Cloud, every app that I have installed had an update. Yes, it was Monday. And I was like, ooh, go do it. How fast?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Oh, that was quick. It's all done.
You did it.
I blinked and it was finished. All right.
Lucky.
It's almost like not even fair, how fast it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a wide table.
I know. That's why I'm way over here.
Arm reach.
Yeah, I can extend this out.
I had data and TV stuff. Grant had sent me a thing. And this might be something you'll have to dial back and recall, but he had asked, like, as parents, like, did you have like a digital? Did he send? Was that just?
Yeah, it was. He sent a message in.
Was a
on
Twitter DM? Yeah. That's what it was. It was your like. How did we set, or did we have to set limits with the phones or digital stuff with the kids?
Yeah.
For me, I had walked into it expecting preparing for that.
The worst.
Right. We waited a good while before we got Piper a phone, and it really was once she started walking to school. It was like something, a device to track and see where she was for safety precautions.
Right.
And that was middle school, so 6th to 8th grade. And I would say she really wasn't an active user of the phone, even in 8th grade.
Yeah.
and I want to say even like computer stuff, we would play Xbox. So she wasn't really personal time dumped into the phone.
The phone wasn't a time.
So it really wasn't a thing that we were. She was just really, it was just like an emergency unit for us and for her.
Yeah,
like how to use, call if you need it, kind of thing. High school. High school for Piper is kind of relatively tainted because COVID hit her junior and senior year, and really like the tail end of sophomore year. So that kind of stuff is like on a twist, so it's hard for me to gauge. But she never really, I didn't have to set a limit for her. She self-policed. Like she just wasn't ever really buried in her phone during high school. So it never necessarily got in the way of academics. She did well in school, she did her homework. The general rule for our house is you don't get on your thing, whether it's the computer or your phone, until your homework is done. Both the kids are pretty much, well, Piper no longer because adult, but Xander, hits his bed at 9 to 9:30. If he has free time after his homework and after dinner and stuff is done, he's free to use it. He doesn't abuse it, and gets top marks, grades and whatnot. So he doesn't really have a constraint. He does spend a good amount of time like playing on his computer. Xander, this is back to Xander. But it's not Call of Duty. It's not Modern Warfare kind of thing. He's playing Minecraft or Roblox. That doesn't necessarily. I mean, you could overindulge in anything. But it's constructive enough to where I'm okay with that. And as long as he's doing his homework, getting good grades on his homework, and tests and school, and it's not getting in the way of his existing extracurriculars like band and whatnot, he's doing okay in self-policing. So we haven't now. He had the early part as we came out of COVID for him specifically. He had gotten in the habit of like having so much free time that's what he would do. That's where he would spend his time. And the first part of this high school term, he was missing some assignments, and we did have to enforce like if you don't, until you pull these assignments up and get some of this other homework stuff done, I set limits on his computer, his Mac. I blackballed his Mac address of his phone and his computer because it was like, I gave you free reign and you seem to not be able to prioritize this, but we've also haven't been checking in. So here's that level set. We're going to start making sure that these are getting turned in on time. You're a very smart young man, but let's reset. And until you get those things done, this shit gets shut off. After 2 weeks, he had everything dialed in. He hit 4.0 for the end of the midterms or his report card, and things got turned back on. Like, we're going to start making sure we keep up to speed on that. But, this is what happens.
Yeah.
So there were repercussions. But we kind of needed that. Like, you'll let you run out the chain and see.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got too far, we snapped him just so he would know. And everything is back to being kosher again. Piper straight up didn't have that problem because I think so much of COVID had her home with free time. It wasn't a thing. She is doing well in school. She spends a good amount of time on her phone, but also she's 18 and a young adult, and as long as she's figuring out how to, I can't
prioritize.
Yeah, she's at this point, her repercussions for spending too much time on something that's not school hits her. She owns it. Like that's you.
That's on you.
So in my house, we've been lucky with the kids being able to be close to set their own boundaries.
Yeah. At my house,
I was gonna say you're laughing, but here we go.
Melanie wasn't a problem.
Melanie, okay.
Chandler,
right,
was a problem. Chandler was, similar. Got a phone for emergency kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I think the first phone he got was like one of those Migos or whatever, like the little, like it just had like 4 preset numbers, and eventually, and he went through phones. He broke them all the time, like literally
like dropped or
like just abused. He abused them. He had one broken in half, like a flip phone, and he got his at one point. First of all, I would like to say he did 18,000 text messages in 1 month. Okay. And then at one point, I remember we took his phone away. He got his phone taken away, and I don't remember for what. He might remember. And he actually went and bought a burner phone without us knowing. So he was that was really difficult to for us to try and manage that, because he was just going to do whatever he was going to do, period.
Right.
So we struggled with that, and he's on his phone a lot. Millie's on her phone a lot, but for a different reason. He's just on his phone a lot.
Yeah.
So we did struggle with that. We did have rules like no phones at dinner and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But as they turned 18, that's
right. Yeah. It's like
yeah. But Chandler was a handful as far as. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, wait, what does that mean? So that would be the unit, isn't it? Not the camera? Interesting.
We'll have to look at that when we're done. Or it's that camera.
Oh, there's a door.
But yeah, that was a big challenge for us, was kind of managing Chandler and his sort of phone dependency. Was a big problem, sticking point.
I know Xander doesn't text as much. Like his main medium of digital conversations is Discord. Like it's all like forum stuff, not forum, but Discord. So Discord chat groups. Not a lot of text. Like we have a couple of the house things for us.
Yeah.
But when I need to get his attention, I send him a Discord DM.
Oh, interesting.
Because I know if he's playing Minecraft or something, he's got Discord up in a Discord voice chat with his homies. So I know he'll see that before he would see Discord on his phone or a DM on his phone. So
text message or a message,
right? Or calling him or something.
Right.
For Piper, it's an iMessage. Like Piper, that's how I get a hold of her.
Yeah.
But for Xander, it's Discord. Like easy bar none.
Yeah, and we have several like family chats, different. Like one kid and the two of us, and and then like 2 kids and there's we have a slew of those.
We have God. Okay, so do you have names for the groups?
Some of them.
So the family group chat, iMessage group chat is named Loyal Subjects, and it's the king from Hamilton is our thumbnail picture.
Okay.
Xander Venus and I's chat is the Council of Elders. And then Piper, Venus, and I's chat is the jury, because the inside joke was whenever she would want to do something or ask something, she would have to consult the jury, being Venus and I.
I see.
So those are our...
we just have like one called Fam,
Yeah.
which is the four of us kind of thing. And then I have a chat with a couple friends in Colorado called the Colorado Hooligans.
Oh.
You know, so there's that. And then we have one with like the four of us and Nicole we just call it Party of Five.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a good show. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tough question. We weren't very successful with Chandler as far as like keeping his usage at bay. It was very much something we felt like we didn't have any control over. Like once the cat got out of the bag, he was going to do whatever he had to do to make sure he had a phone.
Right.
And he went through tons of, I think he had something ridiculous like 30 activations on his account at one time. He went and had a phone activated because he had broke one.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy at Verizon was like, "Oh my God, you had like 30 activations on this account, phone activations." Yeah. So he would break a phone and then, we would replace it and then he would activate a phone. And at a certain point it was like, you break it, I'm not buying you another one. That's it. It's on you now.
Right.
So he did. He ended up breaking a phone and I'm like, I did my thing. I already paid for all those.
Right.
So he ended up like having to get phones from friends to like
reuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember at one point he got a Palm Centro from somebody to use. He actually, I guess, really liked that phone. But yeah, it was a challenge.
We had like just recently we were talking with Piper about because Piper and I was telling this to Mike earlier. Piper and Venus are on her dad's business account, which isn't really data consumption conducive.
Friendly.
Yeah, it's like it's a business account for you're texting your business partners. It's not meant for Netflix and chill kind of shit and extreme data usage. But also, more importantly, it's mainly for the employees of the company are supposed to be leveraging most of the data that's available.
Right. Is it a bucket of data they all share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So teenager problematic, but also Venus, she's not always doing that. It's her personal stuff too. So if she's out and about and doing whatever, consuming data starts to become problematic. And then the overage charges are problematic, or she has to like add a gig to the it's super problematic for her, for the company, whatever. So they rolled her, Venus and Piper rolled into like a personal account. New phones kind of thing. It's like, hey, you activate a new account. They're pretty much giving you phones.
Yeah. And
we were talking about how, because Piper has a 11 or 11 Pro, I can't remember. Like, it's a hand-me-down from me, I think. And she got a 14 Pro.
Oh, nice.
Like the new hotness, because subsidized and whatnot. But Venus was talking about how they gave her trading credit for Piper's existing phone was like $800. I think is like the trade-in value of a nicely current gen iPhone gives you like $800 in trade-in.
Yeah.
And Piper was like, wait, so it's $800?
Yeah.
And we went, well, yeah, but it's to the account. Like the phones are $1,000.
Yeah.
Like they're not cheap.
Yep.
So it's not $800 that they're giving. Like, no,
it's being applied towards.
We're
the new
taking
thing.
that and we're putting it towards the monthly payments that would have been paying down the $1,000 of Anyway, and she's like, oh, I'm like, the contracts are almost irrelevant at this point. Like, you can't get by without having a cell phone or self-service or a smartphone. If you can, you're probably already retired and you can't stand touch phones and you want your clamshell back. So you don't really apply in this scenario. The rest
Consumer cellular.
Yeah, the rest of us need hot sauce, you know what I'm saying? But it was, an interesting concept. Like, they're telling you, but they're really just baking these things into your monthly bill.
Yeah.
So if they're going to give you money, and currently the rest of us in the household are all on relatively current phones, and they're going to give us $800 for yours, yeah, we're going to format that fucker, and we're going to take that $800 and we're going to, pay down some of your new one.
Yeah.
It's not free.
Yeah.
They'll like to tell you it's free.
They're still getting you for over $200.
Yeah. How much do I owe you for the phone? Nothing. It's all wrapped up into your bill, your cell phone.
Oh, your bill's going up.
Yeah, your bill's going to go up.
It's probably $8 or $10 a month or something like that. Yeah.
But they're not, for the life of them. So yeah, if you can take the money and put it towards it to reduce your payment, absolutely do that. She's like, oh, like, no one's giving you anything really for free.
Because we were just looking at the whole Verizon trade-in thing also.
Yeah.
Because it's like our batteries are, I mentioned, and it was like right after I said that was like when the battery started to really dip out, and I'm like, well, okay. And I noticed like it's starting to run real hot. Mm-hmm. Like the battery's like.
You have a 13?
I have an 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're considering it. I'm not sure how long that deal is going to last, but we may or we may not. I don't know.
Yeah. When I bought my dad's, his was just a 14.
Yeah.
And I'm a techie guy, and I was like, well, why shouldn't I have so new?
I know. I honestly don't really care that much.
But I look at it as like, I work hard. I should have that. I'm buying Dad a new phone. Why shouldn't I? Why should my dad have a newer phone than me?
Because maybe next year you get the 15.
Right. And so, I'm looking at it, and I'm like totally like Bilbo in the One Ring, like, why shouldn't I have that nice thing?
Precious.
It's got so many cameras, and it's newer than mine. Why not? I won't even see it. I'll just smoosh it into my monthly bill, and I want to. And
of course, you'll get the bill and be like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, what happened here? Normally, I actually pay outright for the phone. I don't subsidize, and I don't put it into monthlies. For Dad's, I did, and as just convenience, I think at the time I'm like, well, fine, I'll pay it down later and just not worry about it. But that was enough of like me trying to do the smart thing for my dad. I'm like, well, if I'm not going to pay for Dad's outright, and fuck, that would be like $2,000. But I ain't buying $2,000 worth of. Okay, tell you what, let's pump the brakes. I don't really need a new phone.
That's right.
But Dad does, so I don't have to listen to his thing about battery life anymore. So I didn't get anything. So. And the interesting thing that you'd mentioned was I think next year they have to roll over to USB-C anyway. When we're talking about the Apple handsets.
Yeah. Because
the UK's law, I believe, kicks in next year.
I don't think they're going to make two phones. Here's your Lightning phone, US, and here's your USB-C phone,
That seems
UK.
Completely counterintuitive.
Yeah.
From a manufacturing perspective to like start kicking out dies for two different chassis.
Yeah.
I don't know how that falls, but something tells me next year's model is either the last one of Lightning because it falls in some sort of gap year for the UK laws, or next year's model is USB-C. So
and I mean, hey, I just bought a couple Lightning cables, so
right. I'm like, I would give it another year anyway before I'm like, and I was talking to Venus because I think she's getting a new phone. Maybe her contract ends for an upgrade option somewhere next year. I'm like, you either get one that's Lightning or you wait until this USB-C.
Yeah.
By waiting almost another year, because otherwise you're either the only USB-C phone in the house that's Apple, so now you're buying your own cables and shit.
Right.
Or you deal with a Lightning that's essentially the last model year, and then when we all start rotating into USB-C phones, you rotate in as your upgrade kicks in. But
Right.
Otherwise, you're either going to be an outlier because you couldn't wait, or you get the last model of Lightning port stuff.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens next year.
I kept meaning to look to see how they're handling that. And that's interesting because the UK is essentially going to be driving Apple's
ecosystem
charging
to a certain extent.
Yeah, charging system. Like that's a whole shitload of cables.
Yeah.
And wall warts that all
think
either
about
need
the
an
industry.
adapter.
Yeah, the industry that's been created around lightning cables.
Can you imagine that? I wonder if they're going to start coming. I all of a sudden I'm envisioning these 1-inch pigtail, small packaged little Apple certified Lightning to USB-C adapters.
Oh yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to be making these.
Sure.
Oh, or cables that have like a little pigtail pop on.
Speaking of that, like I ran across some USB sticks that I got for testing for work, and it was USB-A on one side, but the other end has USB-C on it. So it has two caps on either end.
Okay.
And one side you pull it off and it's USB-C, and the other side you pull it off and it's USB-A.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, well, USB 3.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I thought that was fascinating that it was like you could do both on the same USB stick.
Just
I don't remember
flip it over.
Yeah, you just use the other end and get the better performance. What happens if you plug both in at the same time?
Yeah. Does it?
The world collapses on itself. Yeah.
Like when you stick a fork in a light socket.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I had something from last week that we didn't get to.
Okay.
And that was Shiny having a massive seizure.
Murmur.
Yeah. She's 9 or 10. My wife will correct me. # I love my wife.
If she was here, she could just do it.
So have you ever seen any of the dogs had a seizure for you?
No.
You were very lucky.
Yes.
I have, and being home all the time with dogs, I've seen Jax has he's had probably 3 or 4 that I have seen, and his are very unique. It almost comes across as like a stroke. Like I don't see the event actually happen. He doesn't like twitch or do anything. He just, you can tell he's lost. Like his eyes get very drowsy looking, and he just wants to be near you. Like he needs a person to like to ground him, kind of a thing. Like he's
comfort.
Yeah, he's lost, and he is on 10% battery, kind of thing. And
is this a thing with boxers?
Maybe Armageddon had 1 or 2 in the lifespan, so I mean, it could just be an age thing. Genesis had a couple, and really that it was, she had ended up having a brain tumor, and that's really what was the end for her. But Jax has had a couple, and it's kind of one of those things, like you give it 2 to 6 hours, and the things start firing again, and you can tell it takes it out of him, but he comes out of it like without needing any special care or anything. You just kind of gotta comfort, and he just needs a person, and you just gotta sit down and hang out. Shiny has had a couple what I would say were mild seizures where it looks like if you've ever seen a dog like having those like a waking dream, like where they're running or they're fighting something.
Right.
She has kind of just like laid over on her side and like everything goes tense. Like her legs and it goes into like a thing, like a spasm.
That sounds awful.
Yes, it's hard to watch. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
So, but the mild ones that I'd seen her have in the last 5 years, it's probably maybe 2 or 3. She comes out of it within like 90 seconds or something. And then it's like hamster comes back onto the wheel and like, hey man, what happened? Like right as rain. Like, well, I tell you what's happening with me right now.
Yikes.
This was, God, I can't remember what day it was. We had just finished dinner, and when Jax goes out, and shits, he comes back in like if you have a cat, it's like the zoomies. Like, oh shit, I just emptied the tank, and he
gets excited.
The pea gravel stuck in his paws as he comes leaping back through the doggy door. There's rocks fucking everywhere, and it's like check his asshole to see if there's a paper towel or a napkin or a sock hanging out of his butthole.
Oh, it's a glove.
Right? Yeah. Oh, great! It's a latex glove that he got from the great. Anyway.
Yeah.
We just finished dinner. The dogs had just eaten their kibble, and he had gone out and then come back in. But there's like a Pavlovian thing when I hear rocks skittering about. It's like, oh, get ready, someone's coming in hot, kind of thing. Except I'm in the dining room, kind of cleaning up, and I hear the rocks like hitting, like shit hitting the fan outside. And I look around, and Jax is inside. I'm like, oh, someone's shitting, except that's not normal for Shiny. So I kind of like wait, and I hear rocks again, and I'm like, okay, hold on a second. And I go outside, and like, something I could just tell something's not right.
Right.
And she is having probably one of the worst ones I'd seen since Genesis. Like, it's hard to watch, and thank God no one else in the house saw it because there's nothing.
It's jarring.
It's jarring.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastating to see.
Yeah.
And to be handicapped to not be able to do anything about it. So I'm putting my hand on her, and I'm like, it's okay. Everything will be okay. Having seen it with Armageddon and having seen it with Genesis, it's like, so we're at the end of the road here. We call the vet, and she's it's so aggressive that it was like, this one you're not really walking off in the next 15 minutes kind of thing. It was like, she was rough for a couple hours. We call the vet. We take her in. Venus had to take a sick day to get her in, to get her checked out. And it was like, we'll take blood work and what. The blood work came back relatively normal. They put her on this medication to stop like clustering. When they tend to have seizures, there are some scenarios where it's almost like an earthquake. Like you've got your passive, or not passive, but your small aftershocks, like tick, 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 as they tail off.
Mm-hmm.
She apparently had a mild one while she was at the vet in the back. So it wasn't like we had to try and describe what happened and then them believe us. Like she had a mild episode while there. It was like, okay. So they put her on this medication. Was that you or me?
Me.
Oh. They put her on this medication to help abate the seizure clustering, and it turned her into a drunken sailor, which made it difficult because you're trying to gauge whether or not
it's happening.
It's happening again, but because it turned her like she couldn't balance, she couldn't get up on the bed.
It always looked like she might be.
Yeah. So it's like, is this a thing? You couldn't tell. It was like we'd ended up putting Armageddon on some medication for his issues, and it gave him vertigo. So his head went to a side, and his eyes would dart back and forth, and it was like, so is this a thing, or is this something else? It's like, I can't keep...
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm just trying to figure out if there's still something wrong, or this is a result of something that you're asking me to help abate this other thing. Like, is this a allergic reaction, or is this too much? Like, I'm just trying to hope my dog gets better for whatever I have left. Like, and this is like bad. It's not helping me.
It's terrible.
Like, get around the situation.
Yeah.
And about 24 hours-ish after, she had appetite, go out, eat, drink, pee, poop. But because she was on this medication, she was like, I lead you outside, and she would like fucking like Jack Sparrow stumble in the rocks as she would try and like
Where's
pee.
the rum, mate?
Yeah. With the rum's all gone. It was funny, but not, because you're like, And it got to a point where, like, it was like a 3-day regimen. And I told Venus, I'm like, this last 2 pills or one, medication 8-hour spans. I'm like, I'm not giving her both. I'll give her one. And if the seizures come back, then it is what it is. Like, I can't help gauge if she's getting better, if she thinks she's fucking Batman, you know? And she got through the medication regimen, and she weaned off probably in 6 to 8 hours of like the one pill, and came out of it. She and then 24 hours later, she's hamsters on the wheel, like dialed in. She's fine. Venus had another like consultation back and forth with the vet. Finally, they like touched base after exchanging voicemails a number of times, and the vet's like, we're just gonna chalk this one up to she may have gotten into something that was moldy, gotten in. I mean, she nibbles on branches and fucking the acorns and leaves and shit.
Yeah.
So it's possible she went back and nibbled on something.
Some toxic thing.
Something toxic. And while she is old, she stroked out through it, but it has passed because her blood work looks relatively fine. It wasn't like Genesis where they were like,
this and this.
Oh, she's got high X cell, like she's got cancer.
Yeah.
Like Shiny shows no indications of anything else outside of, you probably fucking ate something, you dumbass dog, and scared everyone in the house to shit. And it's the oddball is that when Venus and I are both like, we totally expect this from Jax. Jax licks everything. Everything is something for him
to lick.
To lick.
Yeah, your leg.
Your leg, the doorknob, the door, the dirt on the bottom of your shoe.
Oh.
Your pants.
Yeah.
Your face. Your neck.
Which is probably the worst thing.
Your shirt, your sock, your underwear, your towel. everything. It's like if anyone was going to do something stupid and consume something stupid,
it would be Jax.
It would be Jax. No, it was the little princess. And we're like, what do you do? And I see her nibble on sticks and stuff all the time, and it's just like
scary.
I can't.
I thought we were going down a path right now, and I was about to be upset.
No.
Yeah.
We're counting stars.
Yeah.
Because
brutal.
But fucking A.
So she's good now.
She's good now. She had one liver enzyme thing that was a little bit high, but it was like nothing that was like cancer, or tumor or some sort of thing. She had nothing like off the charts like Armageddon had, nothing like Genesis had. She just probably, she's definitely getting up there for a boxer.
Yeah.
But she'll be okay. And whatever that medication was.
That's good to hear.
Oh man, the medication. So it was
So did you take it?
Funny you mention that.
Oh no.
The medication was like a human seizure medication.
Oh.
And one of the side effects listed on the bottle was hallucinations of insects under skin.
Oh God.
Right?
No.
And we're making jokes because one, it's turned shiny into this drunken sailor. But to what end is the documentation and side effects so specific that it's not gators under your skin? It's insects under your skin.
Is that it feels like them or that you see them?
I don't remember the exact wording. Well, I don't know if it was like may exhibit or may see.
You look at yourself in the mirror and your face is crawling around.
Yeah, I'm Batman with, or Insect Man.
Oh my God.
But
that's pretty graphic side effect.
It is very specific.
Yeah.
Not marbles, pebbles, rocks, snakes.
So they must be like
insects
creeping around under the skin.
Side effects may include insects under skin. What the fuck?
What dog was describing that shit?
Yeah.
There was like insects under my skin.
What?
Oh, that's it. Insects under the skin. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Scoop.
Gorilla? Okay. Like
that
ants?
Weird.
How bizarre is that?
That's really weird. So did you try it?
No.
Oh.
We're keeping it just in case one of them has another seizure. We'll fucking start giving her medication to stop the.
Yeah.
And that's what they told us. They're like, keep it to stop the clusters if one should.
So it was just 2 pills.
Yeah, and for her, I imagine Jax probably needs 2. She's probably a lightweight. The vet described it as like it shouldn't have done that to her. Shiny must be a lightweight, and that probably 1 pill would have been fine. 2 pills, like, knocked her the fuck out. Jax, big dog, probably would be someone that we would have given 2 pills to.
She's like, 3 darts is too much.
Yeah. Well, what was that thing? It was Will Ferrell where he gets shot with a dart. It was like a wedding. He's at a wedding.
You're funny, man. Yeah. I don't remember what that's in. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
On Ace Ventura or whatever. When it was the Ace Ventura 2, and he's in the jungle, and they
blow dart him?
They blow dart him in the legs, and he's like, 3 darts is too much.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then it's the dude where's my car guy, and Will Ferrell has a trank gun, and it goes off, and he's like, dude, that's enough to drop an elephant or a rhino. And he's like, what? You're crazy, man. And then he falls over into like a wedding table or something. Yeah. Anyway.
Brutal. Wow, that's rough. I thought we were going down a path, and I was just going to be like, fuck you, man. You know?
And this is one of those reasons why I'm all done with pets, man. I will love what I got all the way out. And Venus is like, I'm getting fed this Rainbow Bridge shit with other pets, and I'm like, Rainbow Bridge. She's like, Rainbow Bridge. I'm like, I don't want to fucking no. I'm all done.
I ran into a neighbor. I was out with my dog on a walk today, and he was telling me how him and his wife were telling me how they're both retired now.
Yeah,
and they have a motorhome. Like I can see their house from the front of my house, so they have a motorhome, and they pull it up, or not a motorhome, a trailer, like a fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And they pull it up, and it's out in front of their house for a couple days, and then they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're out camping somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" They're like, "We can go anywhere. We don't have any animals anymore.
Yeah.
The kids are all gone, and we're retired. We don't have to be back for shit."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, the animals." Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, Max is the best dog we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking. I mean, that's going to be worse than probably Nacho. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh,
we're setting it up.
Yeah.
We're now setting that up to be worse than it ever has been before.
We're going to take those days off. Yeah.
Brutal, dude.
Yeah. We're at time.
All right. Cool. Well, I'm glad you didn't tell me some bullshit that I wasn't.
No, it ended up good news. Yeah. So, but yeah, seizures.
All right. Well, you should always make sure you wash your hands. That's first and foremost.
Wash your ass.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Check your oil, Tony.
Return the cart.
I don't know. Some other stuff.
Wear the mask. Get the shot.
And do the kindness.
Register to vote.
Register to vote.
And we will catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you.
Bye.